Phoenix Greenways, Walk 12, 5 Pitch Trail, Day 3. It's early afternoon, Tuesday the 22nd of November 2011. I've had my bacon and eggs served up with the delicious parasol mushrooms I found yesterday alongside the 5 Pitch Trail. Although the weather could be better, it's not particularly bad. So No Names and I are off again. I've opted for parking at Hardstoft Road car park in Pursley as I did yesterday. But this time, No Names and I are off in the opposite direction, with the intention of making it to Wolfie Pond at North Wingfield before turning back. So at about 1:40 PM, we find ourselves off on foot after parking up and crossing the road before releasing No Names to go off on his own trek. 10 minutes later, we've come across Loco Plantation and a slight detour off the main route and through the plantation to discover a little more seems a viable option. So off we go. What I generally find is standard run-of-the-mill mixed woodland with both young and old plantings and a few pleasant clearings of varying sizes. Primarily though, Loco Plantation is actually a designated nature reserve, and as such is protected by the powers that be, and so it should be. I'm sure a trip through the plantation during the summer months would have much more appeal. We're exiting the plantation at about 2 PM, and I get No Names on the lead ready to cross Loco Lane, or Loco Road. It's called Loco Lane for part of its length, but Loco Road for the other part, but I don't actually know for sure which part of road or lane we are about to cross. What I do know, however, is that in my experience this road or lane is often subjected to much more traffic than it was originally planned to accommodate, as it is a good local shortcut from one main road to another. Whereas the turn-off next to Loco Plantation is often used as an access road to the ex-mining village of Pursley. We successfully managed to cross the road and I release No Names once again, as we stroll up the gradual incline towards the next checkpoint at Timber Lane. Within 5 minutes we've come to a minor halt, so I can take some photographs of the horses in a field alongside. No Names of course is showing no desire whatsoever to annoy them, while they happily pose for their snapshots. I reward them with a little fresh grass from the palm of my hand before continuing onward, little knowing at present that I will be rewarding them with freshly picked apples on our return journey. 10 minutes on and I've spotted mushrooms and toadstools in the woodlands to our left, so I've decided to wander through the woods on a mushroom hunt and a little more exploration. Unfortunately, my mushroom hunt reaps no dividend. I think someone's been there before me, due to the occasional trampling I've noticed. But the woodland walk proves to be most pleasant. At the lowest point in the woods, an unusually formed tree catches my eye, and I cannot resist the opportunity to capture this unusual shape on film. Well, I say film, but there's no film in a digital camera, is there? As No Names and I begin our route out of the woodlands, the sun comes out and this heightens the experience, especially after the dull start. By the time we enter Timber Lane car park at about 2:30 PM, the sun is beating down. Beautiful. Although tempted to stop here for a break, I decide to press on, as I know of a nice picnic location further along the trail, and only about 50 minutes stroll from our current location. After taking what has since become one of my favourite photos of these walks, the one with the large tree in prime autumn finery, located in a field surrounded by sheep, we've come to a location I like to call The Fork at about 2:45 PM. This is one of the primary decision time locations on the 5 Pitch Trail. Left to Wolfie Pond, North Wingfield and Grassmore Country Park, or right to Homewood Woodlands and Willingthorpe Ponds. But as we are aiming for Wolfie Pond, then the left fork is the obvious choice. Apart from that, my favourite picnic spot is on that route, and not on the route on the right fork, albeit only a few hundred yards or so along the way. A few minutes later finds us at the picnic spot, as I said earlier, about 50 minutes stroll from Timber Lane car park and picnic area. Time for a cuppa. Off with the rucksack, out with the flask, and out with the drinking water I carry for No Names and his portable water bowl. A relaxing 15-minute break then ensues as I casually drink my cuppa and have a smoke. No Names has a little drink from his bowl but then proceeds to go off exploring and running about a bit, but never too far as he likes to keep sight of me. Break over, and at 3 PM I'm packing everything away and hutching my backpack up to continue towards Wolfie Pond, our destination for today. After passing a pen on the right that is home to some hens and a turkey, I wonder if that will still be here at Christmas, at about 3:15 we've come to the road crossing at North Wingfield, the last one before reaching Wolfie Pond. After crossing, and again releasing No Names from the lead, I scramble up a bank on the left side of the trail to gather a few nice deep red apples from a tree overhanging the trailway, which I then promptly conceal in the top of my pack. By now the weather is starting to dull again, and the sun is beginning its descent, but Wolfie Pond is less than 15 minutes away, so we'll continue on. Well, our first sighting of Wolfie Pond through the trees comes into sight at about 3:25 PM. Wolfie Pond is home to the North Wingfield Angling Club and is situated very close to the Alma housing estate of North Wingfield. I take the opportunity to go completely around the pond and take lots of photographs before it gets too dark, before departing the pond and heading back about 10 to 15 minutes after arriving there. On our departure, we happen upon a middle-aged gentleman who is out walking his little dog, and his dog and No Names go off together on a scamper and play around whilst the gent and I chat a while. Coincidentally, Wolfie Pond is another one of those decision-making points along the Five Pits Trail, because when approaching from the direction of Grassmore Country Park, one is confronted with the left fork to William Thorpe Ponds and Home Woodlands, adding about 2 miles to the route, or a right fork and avoiding the extra mileage. But both options eventually lead to the same point if staying faithful to the route of the Five Pits Trail. Time presses on and we must be going, so I bid my farewell to the chap and his dog, call No Names to me, and we're off on our way back. About half hour of walking finds us back at the picnic spot where we had our break earlier. Well, we stroll into Timber Lane car park and picnic area at about 4:20 PM, but by now it's starting to become a bit too dark to take many more photographs. But I think I've got plenty on the memory card in the camera from earlier on. When passing by the horses I took photos of earlier, we stop again as I feed them the apples I gathered earlier near to the road crossing at North Wingfield. Thanks for posing for me earlier. Here, I've got something for you guys. They take the apples from me and munch delightfully on them. About 4:40 PM and we finally make it back to Harstoff Road in darkness, having enjoyed a pleasant wander along the Five Pits Trail. We return home to our cups of tea and I begin to view the photographs I've taken today to find I have over 200 to go through, and that's just today. So it looks like there's a bit of thinning and sorting out to be done. Of course, the photos on this walk, as usual, can be seen on Trail Trekking at Facebook. If you go there, take a good look at them, and please leave a comment and a like. Thank you very much. Bye bye.